It might be Tuesday while you're listening to this, but it is a very, very happy Victory Monday for the Bros. The Birds got a big dub last night against the Commanders, to which I say, command these nuts, idiots. We knew we'd make it back to the Super Bowl. We're back to the promised land, and there's no better way to talk about Southern hospitality than after a big Birds win, to which I have to question you, sir. How you feeling?
Not great. I have seen way better days. I gave it my all yesterday. I just left it all out there on the field. They will be hanging my jersey in the rafters next week. In
Good.
the interim between the now and the Super Bowl, so that's going to be really cool for me. Uh, wasn't sure if I was going to make it through the day, but here we are. Got to
Here
clock
we
in for the
are.
fans.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Fly Gooder Fly. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. Now, look, if you heard me in the intro, I'm not feeling great, but what better way to spend the day than just sitting on the couch ordering 3 meals in because you don't want to cook anything
Ooh,
and just
what'd you eat?
watching Bravo all day? Uh, what did I have? I kind of just skipped breakfast. I had a chicken parm sandwich at some point during the day.
Not
I
bad.
got some Go Puff, like snacks, candy,
Oh, yeah.
Oreos, of course. Now I've got some Chipotle on the way. So I went 3 for 3 today.
That's a solid day. Solid
Yeah.
day. I am the closest I can get to hungover. Obviously, I don't drink anymore, so I'm not hungover, but I decided that it would be a good idea when I got home after watching the Bills and Chiefs game. So the game was over. I should have gone to bed. I made a oven deep dish pizza, like a frozen pizza,
Yeah.
and I ate all of it.
Oh,
So I did the math. I had at about 11:30 p.m. I had 2,300 calories.
Jesus.
I feel horrible all
Yeah,
day.
and
I woke up
also
and my
eating
face
all
was
day
puffy.
too during the game. You were probably sitting at Xfinity eating a bunch of stuff there. So
That
you
was
had a
the good
good
thing.
food day.
Shout out to Xfinity. It was an absolute blast. I want to tell everybody about a little shindig happening there with one. I actually want to tell everybody about a little shindig happening there with somebody you know well. Kyle Cook is actually playing at Xfinity on Valentine's Day. He's doing a set that evening. I believe it starts at 10 and it goes through midnight.
Something
So
like that.
yeah, make sure you check that out if you're in the Philly area. Xfinity is obviously one of our favorite places to go. They always take care of us when we go watch the games there. It was a blast, dude. The atmosphere was fucking electric and the food was solid, but because it was such a madhouse, I didn't eat that much there. I had a decent spread, but I didn't get that far into it. So that was also part of my problem because when I got home, I'm like, I haven't eaten shit today. I'll eat this. I'll just have like a fourth of it. And then I was like,
That
I'll just have a half of it. And then I was like, well, fuck it. I've gotten this far. I might as well eat the whole thing. And I woke up this morning and I thought I was dying. Uh, yeah. So that's me. That's how I feel.
yeah, that was pretty much me during the game yesterday. I went full liquid diet because nobody's waiting in those lines to get a cheesesteak or get Chickies fries or whatever. Just keep feeding me beers. And that's where I was yesterday. And then I got home and I'm like, same thing. Didn't really eat all day. Let's get a bunch of stuff. Got a couple sandwiches, some wings, some fries, put it all together. Tried to get Taco Bell. Now that was the funny thing.
Oh, that would have been the move.
We tried to get Taco Bell. The problem was you couldn't cross Broad, and there is no Taco Bell on the west
Oh,
side of
right.
Broad, so they couldn't get across to me. So that was fun.
Oh, that's such a bummer. But we're not
Yeah, it
here to
was a
talk
big
about
bummer.
food or hangovers or food hangovers. We're here to talk about Southern Hospitality, which is climbing the ranks as one of the best shows on Bravo, and I don't want to hear otherwise. If you like a Vanderpump type show, I am no longer calling this early VPR. If you like a show with that setup, and if you're listening to us talk about it right now, which means you've listened to us talk about it before, which means that you know that we love this show and you're not watching it, it's time. This is a great show. The cast knows what they're doing. They've gotten their feet wet. It's no longer watching them like awkwardly move around trying to figure out how the game works. Like they're all locked in. This show is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. The Thursday nights are quickly becoming one of my favorite nights for TV
Mhm.
with Soho, Southern Charm, and Traders all coming at the same time. It gives you such a nice weekend. If you're hanging
Mhm.
out during the weekend and you want to throw something on, put some Soho on. You can run through that pretty quick.
it's such an easy watch, and if you need to get caught up, it's so bingeable. We've had so many people reach out to us this season because I think people are finally catching on because way more people are watching now than they were. We've had multiple people reach out in the DMs like, "Oh my God, I finally listened to you guys. I finally watched it. I got through season 1 in like 3 days."
Yep.
So do yourselves a favor. No, we do not get paid by anybody, despite how much this sounds like an advertisement.
Yeah, I wish
Just
we
watch the
did.
goddamn show. I know we're not above it. We say it all the time. We've yet to be approached by anybody that's willing to bribe us. And you won't know when it happens, but
there
there
will
will
be
certainly be
signs.
signs. Everything will look way nicer. Like,
Everything
they
will look
finally-
way nicer, and we will be talking nicely about something that we previously did not talk nice about.
Yeah, it'll be pretty obvious actually. So actually, maybe we'll throw some fake ones out there and see if you guys catch on, just to see if
Yeah.
you guys are paying attention. But
Why not?
let's not dilly-dally any further. Let's jump into Soho, and we start out. We're still at the Lake Wylie, at Lake's house. We're at Lake's house on Lake Wylie. Okay, everybody caught up. Nobody's confused.
Nobody gets stuck on that this time.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we got Joe, TJ, Emmy, and Maddi are the remaining crew. We got the boat crew out and about on the actual lake itself. Joe's talking to Maddi, and they're doing a little recap of the TJ conversation that she had, and she lets him know, like, hey, he did seem apologetic, and it feels like he's ready to talk. Obviously, we know that Joe's ready to talk, so it sets up for what we're assuming is going to be a conversation between these two some point later in the day. We've obviously seen the cutscene of them sitting at the bar talking about things, but I need to say something.
Go on and say it, Steele. Go on and
things.
say it.
Okay. The first thing, because people call it out, they're like, Austin is so hot. His personality, though, it's like, what the fuck? Because he's building a sandcastle? Because he doesn't want to get involved with your bullshit? He's over here just being peaceful by himself?
Yeah.
That was a mean. They did him dirty. He's over there just like scooping up sand. What's wrong with that? The second thing is, we had the question the other day of like what your type would be and what my type would be if we were dating dudes. Austin's my type. I think that's the kind of dude I would probably go for.
Yeah, I think it's the probably breaking down wood in the woods, and that's like
for me.
Yeah, I think that gets you going. Yeah,
I think him and I would have a
like
really lovely date, just like
good
lifting
lumberjack
logs in the woods. Yeah, that sounds like a good time to me. But
I would say, you know Logan in the movie for Wolverine when he's like out in the woods.
Calling me Logan?
No, I'm saying that is your type.
That is me. I'm Wolverine.
Nope.
You finally did it. We finally put it together. Thank you for that. I do feel like I embody a lot of the things that Logan embodies as well. So I see where you're coming from.
Asshole?
Yes, that too. Where was I? Lake. I love Lake, the person, and the lake itself.
Thank you for clarifying.
No, I felt like a brick moment. I love Lamp. No, I do. I think Lake is awesome because they're going through the Brad and Lake scenario right now. And she's standing there with Siobhan and Molly, and they're like, she doesn't want to make the first move on Brad. Brad's waiting for her to make a move. And Molly's like, he already made a move. He took you to dinner. I'm like, And it goes to a cut scene with Lake talking to the confessional. She's like, no. That's not a move. He took me to one dinner. My dad takes me to dinner. My last guy that I dated, I woke up in like Paris with pastries and flowers. It's like, step it up, Brad. I'm like, fuck yeah. Don't just fall for his nonsense. I love Brad. Bradley Carter's one of my favorite
I love
people.
Brad too. I found it very weird that she was talking about Brad making a move and then immediately said, I go out to dinner with my dad. I'm like, oh,
well,
I don't like the comparison.
I think you understand what she was saying. Like, that's not a first.
Yeah, I just didn't like
he's not
that
making the first move. But I love that she's standing by that, especially because, again, love Bradley, but we know our guy. Like, he gets out there, he plays the field a little bit. He doesn't want anything serious. So Lake's taking her time. Lake should take her time. Don't dive right in. Make him chase you. So I'm on board for that. Molly and Siobhan are on like the other side of it, where they're like, move, jump on in. So here's what I've gathered. So last week there was a quick moment when they get to the pool where Molly tried to show Brad her tattoo. Say, Brad, you like my tattoo? He didn't look. It's located on her butt, and he did not look. He said, yeah, it's all right, and went straight to Lake. I'm like, all right, solid move, Brad. Nice job there. Now, while Molly's saying this to Lake, well, he made the move already. It's your turn. I think Molly likes Brad, and I think that's Molly setting up the scene for, well, You had your shot. You needed to make a move. You didn't make a move. And then when she slides in, then she's like, well, I told you to make a move. You waited too long. That's the vibe I got.
I love that you're breaking this down too, because like I don't even think about that stuff.
No,
This
I
is
know.
like it's just like such a nice little thing. It's like, they're young, they're gonna go fool around, they're gonna have like a bunch of fun with each other. You know, they're single, bopping around, great time for them. I'm not gonna break down the sexual chemistry or the I guess situationships that they're going to be getting into. I'm like,
I will
this
do
is
that.
fine. It's fun. You're like, oh, this is a move by Molly because Molly wants
Mhm.
Brad. And I'm like, all right.
Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
people probably appreciate it. My brain doesn't work that way.
No, that's what I'm here for. You
I
do
like
other things with your brain that I don't do. I do things with my brain that you don't do. We complement each other well.
Together we
But
have one brain.
yeah, which is good because we're stupid without each other. We're dumb
Yeah.
with each other, but we're stupid without each other.
Yeah, we are.
But anyway, big fan of Lake. Like how she's moving with Brad. Keep it up, Lake. We get to Emmy and Michols. It's getting harder and harder for me to cover these scenes, like genuinely, because Michael sits down. By the way, with everything that happens later, this makes this scene even more infuriating.
Yeah.
Because Michael sits down, he's like, listen, and he knows how volatile the situation is. He knows how reactive she gets. He's like, look, I just want you to be open-minded and receptive. I love you. I care. There's no other way to be any softer or handle her with like white gloves than this. Like he is being so gentle and trying to just have a conversation. He's like, look, it's taking me a few days to collect my thoughts. Are you okay? Things with Will, your relationship, and the laugh, quote unquote, laugh that
so
Emmy
awkward.
tries to put out there was so uncomfortable and so forced.
Painful.
And she goes on to list this bizarre list. Like you haven't even listened to what Michols has to say yet. You just laugh and then you say, I'm laughing because it's like, you don't have to do that. If it's a genuine laugh, you would laugh and explain, but instead you're explaining, this is why I'm laughing, because Will's my person. Will's my rock. Will's my safe space. Will's my everything. Will's the love of my life. It's like, how many more do you have saved up in there to explain what Will is to you? By the way, ask Will what he thinks about you. None of these things would come up. It's a pretty simple exercise. Actually, it probably gets you to a different place than you're currently at. This is one of your, if not your actual best friend coming to talk to you. You've yet to listen to him, and then you just list off all the reasons that he's wrong, and it makes no fucking sense to me. And Michael starts to get a little heated, and his response is like, look, my first interaction with him sucked. He just rambled on that you guys are in a different place, that you're anorexic, that you work out too much, you only think about yourself. That's the quote unquote love of your life. That's your quote unquote safe place. Is somebody's going to say that about you to strangers, and you're not even going to sit there and listen to Michols.
No, not at all. And the vibe that I get too, obviously Michael's going into this is not a let's sit down and have a moment because of the TV show. Like we're going to expose this, we're going to be like dramatic, and this is going to play really well, and I have to do this because I am a character on a TV show. This was an actually like distraught friend, not sure how to do this, tried to go in with the lightest touch and got completely blown off, because I'm getting the vibe now. What Will wants is to, we've always talked about like he wants her to break up with him or whatever's going to happen. I'm actually changing my tune on that. I think he wants to have Emmy, but completely alienate her from all of these people so that he can continue to go out and talk shit on her, and it's not going to get back to her, because they're just, at some point they're going to look and say, why are we even trying with Emmy anymore? Like Will's just going to go around town.
Wants to eat it too.
Exactly. He's going to go around town. He's going to talk shit on her. We've already brought this up to her before. She makes excuses. She blows up. Why are we even doing this anymore? I think that's what Will wants. Will wants to alienate her and keep her to himself, and then he can just go away to college and take whoever he wants to law prom.
He definitely took somebody else to law prom.
thing.
There's no way that he didn't take some. Listen to us right now. This is our prediction. This is going to come up in an episode. Bet me that he took somebody else to fucking law prom. And you guys are going to come back here and remember this moment and be like, oh my God, the bros were right.
I want to go to law. You think it would actually make sense for me to go to law school at this point? Like I'll quit my job. I'll go to law school so that we can have like a lawyer on the show. So that way we don't have to keep saying allegedly.
No, then you have to work a 9 to 5.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude.
9 to 5 is so draining. Yeah.
Will can't even go to dinner because of his 9 to 5. He can't go to a lake trip because of his 9 to 5. Lake.
He can't jump in the ocean. He can't do anything.
No, how the fuck are you going to wake up and go jump in the ocean in Charleston and then go to work at 9? That's a
Insanity.
lot. He's got to sleep. He's a
Yeah.
CB boy. He's reading things all day in his
All
daddy's
day.
office.
He's reading
Okay?
like this much.
It's like this much,
This
dude.
much.
This much. If you're not watching YouTube, you're missing
By
out.
the way,
It's this much.
is a lot. This is
That's a-
huge, by the way.
Well,
This
unless
is
it's
way
like
above average.
if it's construction paper, maybe it's right over my head.
Yeah, you got it eventually.
Took me a minute. Well played, sir. But it's not almost. It is just genuinely sad as she tries to rationalize this whole scenario. She's like, Will told me what he said. It's like, I bet he did. I bet he told you everything that he said. And I bet he tried to spin it. Oh, yes, he did. Because she's like, he's deflecting his own sadness on law school onto me. What? Are you nuts? What do you like? And I'm trying to not bash Emmy through this whole process because clearly she's in a place where she's being manipulated by an asshole.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
that's
still tough to
all.
watch.
It's really hard to watch because then like I'm not going to pull any punches for how she's alienating her friends who are trying to help her.
Right.
Because I understand if you want to get defensive, I understand that's your man. I understand all of that. But the way you're treating your friends that are all trying to help you is really shitty. And you're actually trying to make them look like the bad guy when the bad guy is your boyfriend. He's being just a straight up asshole. And she's like, well, I forgave Will. That's like, all right, dude. Well, the worst thing you can say to somebody is if something was toxic, I would tell you. It's like if something was toxic, you probably wouldn't recognize it. You'd probably need an outside source, somebody that knows you really well, to pull you aside and try to wake you up and say, hey, things seem kind of shitty. What's up, dude? And she flips it to the girls.
Yeah, flipping it to the girls is insanity too. Just like putting it out there, projecting. And she even talks about projecting. And it's right up there with Will saying that he's projecting on her because he feels like he's failing her as a boyfriend.
That's the craziest
you
gaslighting ever.
You are, but that's incredibly dumb. That doesn't make any sense. You're putting her down because you feel like you're a bad boyfriend. Like what? I don't understand that. And the fact that Emmy believes it is even crazier.
It just shows you where she's at.
Yeah, it shows her. It shows you where she's at. Will has put her in a place, and she's not really doing much help for herself there either, because she is in a place mentally right now with Will and their relationship where nothing is going to work. Like he could cheat on her right in front of her face, and she would probably still spin out of it.
Honestly, like he would spin zone, and she'd be like, "Oh, that was his cousin. He was practicing CPR."
We all know kissing cousins, right?
Yeah. We're gonna keep moving. She just says like, love you, hug me, and like squashes the whole thing and moves on. It was very dismissive. I felt bad for Michols. Clearly he's not, this isn't like a fun conversation for him. He's not looking forward to it. He tried to help
the weight doesn't get lifted off of him either, because like he was worried about, obviously he's staying with TJ. He was going to stay with Emmy, but he's too uncomfortable because of what he knows and what he wants to talk to her about. This was an opportunity for Michols to get it all off and just talk to Emmy and finally like stop bearing all that weight. And instead, he's got even more questions and he feels worse. So that sucks for him. Yeah,
it really sucks. But Brad, JT, damn it, TJ. There's too many TJ, JTs on these shows. Brad, TJ, and Michols are in the pool. And then they're just doing a little quick recap of Emmy. And he just lets him know, like, yeah, not well received. And what this does is opens this whole thing back up to the whole house. And I'll save it until we get there later. But right after this scene made me so sad for Emmy, genuinely sad for Emmy. And again, I'm trying to not be mean about her in this thing because she's clearly caught up in the whole Will nonsense. They're FaceTiming in the bathroom. She's got her outfit on. She's very proud of her outfit, and she's trying to do anything to get Will's attention. And he is so unbothered by this. He's barely looking at her. He's probably honestly either watching TV or he's on a different app while they're FaceTiming because he's so disconnected. She's like, what do you think about the gold? He's like, yeah, gold. It's always gold. You're gold. Not silver.
You definitely used to do silver at some point. I saw some silver on, but it's gold, different metal.
Gold is you. Good. And she's like, gold, right? She's like, I miss you. Crickets. How's the lake? Miss you. Crickets. How's the lake? That's his response to her. Like he's so fucking checked out. He doesn't even have like the time for faith. And this is what should let anybody know how full of shit this dude is. He knows he's on fucking camera. He knows he's on camera and he's still being a shitty boyfriend. That's just so disconnected from this relationship. And I genuinely, not actually, because when I say genuinely almost cried, people know I actually almost do. I didn't actually almost cry, but I felt so bad for her here because she leaves that conversation and goes, he likes my outfit. I'm like, he didn't look at your fucking outfit. How do you
Yeah.
take that away from that conversation? I feel bad for you. I do, but fuck me. This guy's not even looking at you. He just repeated what you said to him and then didn't hear you say, I miss you, and asked how the lake was because it's the most generic, easiest question to ask because he lost his train of thought because he's not looking at you.
Yep.
And you left that with, he likes my outfit. It's like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't care
Yeah, it
about
was
your outfit.
painful.
Yeah,
It's like
bro.
he got off that FaceTime and just went right back to what he was doing and doesn't remember a thing that was said or what you looked like or what you were wearing. You could call him back in 2 seconds wearing a completely different outfit and he would probably not notice.
You could call him
Easily.
back naked and he wouldn't fucking notice.
Uh-huh.
Genuinely. Like full frontal, same position. And he'd be like, how's the lake? Like he doesn't fucking care. Like it sucks. It really sucks. But
you say
I mean,
full frontal is very funny.
I just meant I was trying to paint a picture of the scene. I wasn't trying to be gross. I was just emphasizing how little he pays attention to her. He just it would literally go right over his head. But Lake's father makes a quick appearance, and their son's name, the dad and stepmom, I believe. This is a half sibling, is King, which is dope. So you got King. Like I need to know the names of all of the children in this family because I'm into it. But he's spying on what's going on, making sure the house is still in order. Sounds like a bunch of ruffians are staying here for the weekend. So I'm just like coming by to make sure everything's okay. And I think he's also scouting for dudes because he's got his eyes. Like, he looks at Joe. He's like, "What's your deal?" And Joe,
he's so uncomfortable.
Joe got a little.
I love Joe so much.
He was like,
He's such an idiot.
She's like my sister's age. I'm like, oh, that's a weird thing to say. He's like, we're like brother and sister. I'm like, that's better, I guess.
We're like work siblings or whatever doesn't get me killed, sir.
Yeah. And he's like, so you're gonna look out for, right? He's like, yes, sir. Absolutely. He goes, okay, I'll hold you to that. And they dap up. It was a clean dap. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But that was a really funny scene to watch him stutter through that whole thing. And thank God.
And he's not even dating Lake.
No, there's not even anything intimate there.
There's nothing there at all. She is actually probably considered his work sister. And
genuinely.
He came off so weird. It's so
he came off it didn't go. I think he cleaned it up at the end. The initial was not great, but
very nervous.
At least Bradley stayed upstairs with his shirt on and didn't like I was just waiting for him to walk down shirtless. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't. So I'm glad that he missed that one.
Good timing by Brad.
Yeah, good timing. But we get to dinner and the wings are raw because they said bake for 65 minutes on the bag, and you thought 5 minutes on the grill would take care of it. Like, what are we doing here?
So funny.
The timing.
Like when that happens too, like, no, it'll cook so much faster on the grill. Okay, are you actually going to cook them? Are you going to char them? What are you guys going to do to these fucking wings? Because they're not going to come out right.
No, you were correct. On open flame, they will cook faster. But will the internal get to the temperature you need it to get to?
Do you have a thermometer? Maybe
that would probably
would probably help.
Just a novel idea, a novel approach to this whole thing. Maybe pull a wing, just pull one and cut into it. How's it looking? It's still pretty raw. Maybe we shouldn't serve these. Nah. You know what? It's all good because Lake likes a little salmonella, and it's a pretty name. Much like chlamydia is a pretty name if it didn't mean something gross.
Yep. Just keep going. Let's hear it.
Yeah, this is taking a weird turn at the dinner table. But hey, whatever. We find out that Mia placed 5th. So the competition's over. Yeah, she's got to be coming back. So she's coming back into the fold. It makes more sense why we're getting the FaceTimes now. And now, honestly, that the show is set up this way, it makes sense that she's going to be there because not everybody works there. But I will say this, G. Lily's presence is noticeably missed for me. I would have liked her here at this lake trip.
Yeah, if we're going to do a cast trip, she has to go.
I agree. Yeah, I don't understand that move.
There's no other way around it. But yeah, I mean, we said that for Mia. Obviously, we had some questions in the beginning because it just seemed like every time that we talked to her, she was just on FaceTime. We're like, all right, is this what we're going to get from Mia? I don't think they would have wasted their time with the FaceTimes if she wasn't actually physically going to be on the show by the end.
Now, you never know. They do weird shit sometimes. I agree with you. That was my assumption as well. I just didn't know. But while they all sit down at the dinner table, TJ and Joe do share a couple of words. So obviously it's getting a little less tense there. So leading to that conversation later. But Molly, of all people, brings up, hey, where's Will? And you know exactly what she's doing. She's baiting the table, which I appreciate. I thought it was actually a solid move by her. And she's like, oh, he's working, and I don't even know who said it because I was writing it down. I just heard, how was your talk with Michols? And she's like, oh, it was good. And like her eyes are darting everywhere. You can tell she's like, oh, fuck, here we go. And I love Michols, dude. He's fucking great for this show. And
Yeah,
he
he's
seems
incredible.
like a solid dude on top of that. And he's like, well, no, you actually gave me the runaround. I'm like, hell yeah, hold her to the fire real quick. And Emmy's response is what Emmy's response always is I don't feel comfortable having this conversation at the table. And the best thing that was said, and I want to talk about this for a little bit because I think it's important. Maddi goes, it involves all of us. You just don't realize that yet. And that's like the best point here. And that further points to how fucked up this is by Will. None of these people at the table, Emmy, not one person sitting around this table wants to have this conversation with you. Nobody's invested in your relationship.
Nope.
Nobody likes Will. They don't want to have to be put in a position to have this awkward conversation. Your boyfriend pulled everybody here into this drama because he can't keep his mouth shut when he drinks because he doesn't like you. And that sucks to hear, but like there's no other way to put it. Everyone
There
at this
really
table,
is. Yeah, there really is no other way to put it. And look, he's put all of them in that position. They don't want it. What?
clicky.
Oh, am I? Oh, I think I know one.
Yep, whatever that was it.
Yeah, that was my AirPods. Sorry, we also have to do a baked-in Home Chef ad too at some point.
You can do it right after
I
this.
forgot that was due tomorrow. Oh, okay. Yeah, and look, Will has put all of them in this position. I'm not going to put it on Emmy. I'm not going to say that she's going around talking to everybody. She's trying to avoid it as much as possible because she's the one who actually has to face it head on. They're trying to talk to Will. He's giving them a runaround with Brad, with TJ, and that's pretty much what you're going to get. And they don't care anymore. Everybody else has been subject to Will bashing his girlfriend to them. He has brought them all into this, and it's very unfair for him. They just want to clear the air. This isn't even like a takedown. This isn't, oh my God, Emmy's a monster. We need to go after her. She's doing this and that and whatever. Like, yeah, you can point to a couple episodes ago with the dresses. Maybe they're still upset about that. I don't think so. This is just an uncomfortable situation to be put in because of what Will did. So they don't want to deal with this. But now that you're going to rip the Band-Aid off and you're going to sit there and talk to Michols, who is very close to you, who's just trying to help you, and you're going to give him the runarounds? No, absolutely not. We're all going to weigh in on this. We're all going to tell you because we're now all involved. It's not just somebody talking about a relationship that has nothing to do with them. They're all involved now. So what do you want them to do? This isn't somebody like going after you. You're not being targeted. They're trying to help you. They're trying to talk you through your shitty relationship so that you can end it and go back to being happy. Because right now you're not happy.
The thing is, I don't think that at least the dudes that are friends with Will, they don't want them to break up. And I do think that they still think Will's a good dude. Right. And maybe he's a guy's guy. Maybe when you hang out one-on-one with him, you have a blast. That's fine. But you can't sit there and tell me he's a solid guy when he's treating, quote unquote, the love of his life this way. Those two things don't track. You can be a good dude's dude and still be an asshole. And that's what I get from him because he's treating Emmy like absolute shit and putting her in horrible, horrible places like this. She now has to defend you to everybody. And her response every single time is, I'm okay. Will is not. He's not here to defend himself. And he's coming from everybody there is coming from a good place. Everyone's trying to talk so calmly. And she goes back to, Will is my safe person. Will is my safe person. And Maddi points out, like, we've heard this shit on multiple occasions. And she's like, well, he told me what he said. And I'm glad Joe spoke up. He's like, well, what did he tell you? He said that he can't make me happy in our relationship and that I work out too much. Nah, bruh. He said that he doesn't want to be in this relationship. You're not his forever person and that you're anorexic. Those are three horrible things.
Yeah, you can't paraphrase the terrible things that he said. You can't just skip over the words that he used that you heard. Like, you should have a visceral reaction to finding out that your boyfriend was saying those things. The fact that he said anorexic is insane to other people. To other people that like you,
to strangers, to fucking strangers.
Too. Yeah, that's insane. So the fact that that's what's going on, and you're just going to gloss over it because what? Like, you don't want to badmouth him because he's not there to protect himself. He wouldn't protect himself even if he was there.
You weren't there to protect yourself when he was talking shit
Exactly.
about you. You say later that he's your safe place. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He's not trying to protect you. He's not looking after your well-being. He's being selfish and trying to find a way out of this hole that he dug for himself. And it's working because you believe everything that he's saying. Meanwhile, all the people closest to you know that this is risking alienating you and your friendship. And yet every single person there is trying to speak up and do it very calmly to just try to get through to you. Hey, this seems like a fucked up scenario and we're concerned. We want to make sure that you're okay. That's the root of everything. No one's saying break up with Will. Half the people aren't calling Will an asshole, which makes no sense to me, but they're still trying to be delicate and get through this and just get it through your head so that you see what they're seeing. But the fact that she's like, everyone here claim this should highlight it for Emmy. This should be the thing that wakes her up and snaps her out of it. Everyone here claims to be his friend, and yet you're going to talk all this shit when he's not here. It's like, yeah, dude, everyone here is his friend, and they're still telling you what he said, and they're not talking shit, by the way. They're repeating the shit that he talked.
Yep.
This is not that hard. I get it if you're caught up in it, and I understand. We've all been in weird relationships. We've all been in these spots. It is what it is. Sometimes you have to get through the woods to see the forest. That's not the word, but it is. Get through the forest, see the trees.
I like that one.
I know. Get through the woods to see the forest.
Yeah.
It plays. It plays.
Sure.
It's good enough. I get that, and I
Get through the woods
really,
to see the lake.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Yeah.
Keep it poignant. I like that. But I'm afraid she's going to come back to these episodes in 3, 4, 5 years and be like, fuck, that sucks. I don't look great. And I'm defending a guy that goes around town bad mouthing me to whoever has an ear. Like, that's a shitty spot to be in. And she ends it with what infuriated me the most. And it's going to piss me off again later. Talk to me privately about this.
He did.
Michols tried.
It didn't work. You completely ignored him. You acted like nothing was wrong, which is crazy. You're in Delululand. That's all that we can say about you right now. And you're acting like everybody's attacking you and they're just trying to bring you guys down. No. Will is actively trying to bring you guys down. You need to look at him. He is the problem right now. And look, if you guys can figure it out and get past it, fine. Who the hell? Like what the hell do I care? Just stop bashing. Just stop letting him bash you because it looks really bad for you. So I don't know where the hell they go from here. I could see us getting very tired of this in a couple of episodes. Like, are we still doing this? Like, at some point they just have to stop because you're not going to get anywhere. She's proven at this point you're not going to be able to get through to her. So there's nothing you can do. Try again, maybe in a better setting, Michols or TJ or whoever.
What's a better setting than sitting by a beautiful lake with your friends on a fucking porch swing? Where's it going to be calmer than that? Maybe because there's no answer.
Kinda, yeah.
Like you're not going to get a better moment.
She needs her safe person.
He's not.
But first, before we get back to the show, I've got a message here from one of our sponsors in Home Chef. And look, around this time, it's really cold out. You don't really feel like going to the grocery store. You can dial into Home Chef. They're going to send you some delicious meals. I had one the other week that was Fiesta pork chili. And you know me, I'm a big chili guy. They had this jalapeno cheddar cornbread that came with it too. It was unreal. Just absolutely delicious. I like to dip it in there and just get as much as I possibly can.
The best part about Home Chef, as a private chef myself, you know how I pride ingredients. Home Chef sends you solid, fresh ingredients every single time. It's my favorite food service to use. We've used a bunch of them while doing this podcast. Home Chef always delivers. I love the ingredients. The recipes are easy to follow. As a chef, I respect what these people do.
Oh, yeah. And like Steele just said, users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 18 free meals plus free dessert for life. And of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/bravbros. That's homechef.com/bravbros for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/bravbros. Whoa. Homechef.com/bravbros. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert.
For life.
For life.
Well, don't worry, because she runs inside to FaceTime him and tells him what they said. And he's like, that's bullshit. It's like, brother, you know everything you fucking said. You know everything you fucking did. You admitted it to the boys at lunch not one episode ago, right before they went on this fucking trip. Don't sit there and then try to spin and go, that's bullshit. I can't believe this. He goes on to be like, these are my boys. I can't believe they would say this shit about me. It's like, what the fuck? You know what you said and you're on TV. We know what you said. There's cameras, my guy. Like, what a strange approach to this entire fucking thing. Like,
yeah, and they're not saying anything that you didn't say yourself. That's what it comes down to. They're not shit talking you. They're just pointing out your shitty actions. So you can't be upset about that. You can be upset that you did it and blame yourself and then say, you know what? They need to talk to me in a better way. They tried. They tried a couple of days ago. You gave them the runaround, as Emmy's been doing to Michols. You guys are going to do the same thing over and over again. So you can't get mad about this now because of something that you did that they're calling you out for.
Yep. 100%. And as they're having this whole, he's like, don't engage with the bullshit. It's like, you don't want her to talk to them because you don't want her to find out other stuff that you said. You're trying to now isolate and separate so that you don't get in deeper shit. That's all that's happening. And she's like, it was one night. We find out I don't know if it's coming up soon, but this is multiple occasions. This was different restaurants. It was different nights. This is not a one-off by any means. And I would argue that Charleston being such a small town, the majority of the nightlife scene probably has heard Will bad-mouthing Emmy, which is just embarrassing for her. That's not nice. So,
you know who you get along with is Whitney.
Yeah, honestly, him and Whitney are probably besties. They make a lot of sense together. They should date. But Maddi goes in and she's like, we just want this whole thing to be addressed. She's a great person to talk to because of the Trevor stuff, because of how blinded she was by everything, because of how much of a trance Trevor seemed to have her under. It's a similar situation in that regard. I'm not going to go ahead and say that Will's as bad as Trevor, but I will say that he was in the bathroom last year with another woman at a party drinking. So you can do the math there. Like, that's the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, oh no, there's a lot of fucking parallels to that fucking idiot. But everybody joins, but not before Lake. She voices her opinion on the whole thing. She said, this is disrespectful as fuck. This is my trip. No, it's all about this shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's your birthday. You shouldn't have to deal with this nonsense. But Brad, Michols, TJ, they enter the room. So now they're talking to her. And Brad's like, look, we care about you. This is so fucking blatant to me. We care about you, but strangers are coming up to us and telling us all about this stuff. And she's like, well, I talked to him about it, and I told him I was upset and that he cut me out from under the knees and this, that, and the other thing. One, tell people that you addressed it because you're acting like you did nothing wrong. And two, that's not what happened. That's just that's not what you did.
There's no way that's what happened. That's just something that she's doing in a panic right now to make it seem like she held him accountable for it. It didn't happen. You did not address it to him. You probably got into a fight about it, and then you got afraid that he's going to leave you, and then you guys made up. That's probably what happened.
Yes, 100%. And as she's leaving, she's like, I'm livid. If you were good friends, you would have come to me. We watched Michols do it. We watched the whole table do it. We watched all of your friends leave the people that don't know you that well at the dinner table and come to your room calmly. Brad has reiterated, we don't want you guys to break up, but you guys need to have a conversation about this stuff. There's no, like, at some point, I'm going to go to Southern Charm right now. From what Craig says, you can tell somebody once that they're heading into a car crash. Like, if someone's headed straight for a car crash, what, do you let them get crushed? Coming from TJ, Craig goes, you tell them once. I'm like, yes, that's fine at this juncture. You guys have tried. You've tried. Clearly, you're still trying because she's going on social media. She just did it for this last episode. Once again, to give a Will timeline. Do you think anybody reads that?
Driving? Nobody gave a shit. I read that whole thing. I'm like, this is all the moves that she's doing is making her look crazy. And she is not the crazy one in this situation. Will?
No, she's not.
Yeah, you're crazy to stay with him. But you are making yourself look crazy. You're not doing yourself any favors. And all she's doing, and it's painful to watch now because we keep watching these episodes, everything she does on social media, it's like a day in the life of Will. Nobody asked for that. Nobody wants
to see it. Nobody likes
Nobody wants to see any of that. And then you go into this whole crazy timeline about how Will had to drive 3 hours to go get you from his brother. And you guys met at midnight at some fucking exit off the turnpike or whatever it was. we don't care.
Oh my
do
God, your
not care.
boyfriend of 3 years drove to pick you up from somewhere? Call the fucking press. What a great guy.
Yeah.
What did he stop doing to come get you? Who was he hanging out with? Like, I have so many questions now. Like,
Who
it's
was he on
fair
the
game.
phone with during those 3 hours? He was probably shit talking you. Like,
Yeah,
come
like,
on.
she make me drive fucking 3 hours because she can't stay at the lake for a night. Like, that's probably what
This was
happened.
supposed to be my weekend to just chill.
Yep. Nope. And the best part about this, as the scene ends, as she's pulling away with his brother, is there's a montage of everybody trying to go to her one-on-one as a group, as a friend, and have this conversation. It shows the montage of the boys going to lunch with Will and very, very blatantly addressing, like, they didn't sugarcoat it at all. They're like, all right, we heard you had some frustrations and you voiced some things to strangers. What's up, dude? And he goes, did that happen? Yup. It hurts my fucking brain. I get so frustrated by this shit. But let's talk about some other stuff, because we get to the morning after. We find out that Lake didn't kiss Brad. They were flirting. We saw some clips of some heavy flirtation, but didn't pull the trigger. Once again, all the respect in the world for Lake. You keep that shit up. You make him work for it. That's awesome. I love the
Now,
move.
look, they might miss each other because in their confessionals, they're talking about how they will not be the one to make the first move. You got to come to me.
Yep.
Well, if you both say that, it's not going to happen.
And that's when Molly slides in. That's what I'm telling you. That's
you might
what
be onto something.
I am onto something. Bet. But Michaels texts Emmy to check in. Hey, make sure you got home okay. Are you feeling okay? Good friend, even after yesterday. He gets crickets. Find out Austin slept outside. Love that move. And again, seemingly gets shit for it. People don't understand. Just let this guy live.
Yeah,
let
no, I said that was
live.
classic. As soon as they said that he slept outside, I'm like, classic. That's awesome.
Great move. You're at the lake house. Fuck that. Sleep outside.
I mean, you might get like eaten alive by bugs, but you know.
But it appears that they need a lifeguard for the next trip to keep Joey Bottles off the fucking pool wall. This dude. So here's what I imagined happened. They were like joking around, like, like Maddi probably said, like, I bet I could beat you in a race. Ha ha. Joe's like, fucking bet. Let's do it then.
He took it way too seriously.
Yeah. And went full throttle and then went headfirst into the end of the wall. So he's got a concussion. He's got cuts on his head and he fucked up his nose. But he does say that he's got a big nose, so the nose probably broke the impact, which is
great time for a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, well played. But at breakfast, obviously the topic of conversation is still Emmy and Will and that whole disaster last night. Brad's in a tough spot. So he's like, look, Will's my boy. I got loyalty to Will. But, you know, watching this whole thing transpire, like, I can't keep my mouth shut, which I respect. And that, again, I wish Emmy could see that side of it between TJ, Brad, Joe, like all these people that are friends with Will. You know that they're friends. You know they're tight. You know they're close. If these guys are telling you this, you would think there would be a really good reason for it. They're probably not going to try to start shit with you guys based on nothing. And the more frustrating part, this isn't the first time that these conversations have been had. Flashback to last season. There's a pattern here, and it's not the people next to you trying to help you out. At some point, they're going to tap out and leave you to your own. And what's going to end up happening, what this sounds like to me, and this is probably really mean, but I don't really give a fuck.
Go off, King.
I'm going to go off. What this sounds like to me is Will's going to keep stringing her along through law school. The minute he lands a decent job, he's going to get rid of her and move on to the next thing. And that's going to be the woman that he marries. And that's fucked up to say, but that's what this looks like to me. It looks like a clear blueprint of a stuck up trust fund Nepo baby that's going to go work for his dad, take over his dad's firm. He's going to find the next great thing in some chick that he meets once he graduates law school. He clearly has an air about him that he's better than the people in this group because he's going to law school. They're still working at the bar. He walks around with his nose up. He goes to dinner and gives them just face value responses the entire time. It's the clear blueprint of a guy that thinks he's more important than he is, gets into fucking law school where he's in the top 10%, which means he just barely eked into the 10%. And he wants to live this lavish lifestyle, and he wants somebody to mirror that. And that somebody, according to him, is not Emmy. So for now, it's great. I can string her along. I can do my own thing at college. Like you said, I can come home. She's there when I need her. But when I don't want to do shit with her, I've got work too long. I've got a 9 to 5 and I'm really sleeping. I got to read a stack of papers this big. I don't have time for you, Emmy. I'm not going to the fucking lake with you either. That's what's happening. And bet me in 5 years, he's with somebody else, and they're very serious and move very fast.
I will not take that bet because I agree that's probably what's going to happen. However, I would love to see in 5 years we don't give a shit about Will and we don't get an update on his life. That
That's
would
fine
be
with me
nice.
too. Yeah, that's
That would
totally
be
fine
good
with me
for
as well. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's a good call. But Will and Emmy, let's get this one out of the way because they're doing a recap of everything. And I hate this. I hate when people do this. What the fuck do they know about a 3-year relationship? It's like, okay, guys, what do you know about a 3-year relationship? This is not
Mhm.
going well. You guys are not the epitome of a healthy relationship right now. And you can literally watch the whole thing spin. She's like, well, Michael's reached out. Bradley called me and left a message. Joe reached out. Maddi reached out. It's like, oh, sounds like people are concerned about you. And then Will's like, nobody reached out to me. Why the fuck would they? You put all of your quote unquote friends in this horrible spot. So why on earth would they reach out to you? They should be pissed off at you because you made them get involved. They don't want to
Mhm.
be involved in your relationship.
But also,
I
after the
promise.
interaction that they had with you when you went out with Brad and TJ, why would they reach out to you? They're not going to expect to hear anything new. That just happened
Correct.
within the last week. Like, yeah, because there was a big blow up at the lake. You think that maybe people are going to reach out to you to make sure you're okay because you drove for 3 hours? Is that what you want? Like, no. They're not going to reach out to you because they brought it up to you as friends, asked you, you copped to it, said that you did it, blamed it on yourself for not being a good boyfriend or whatever the hell that was. Why would they reach out to you? They're not expecting to hear anything new. They're trying to get through to Emmy because she is clearly distraught. You look fine.
What do you
look
mean?
upset that people are he looks upset that people or he's upset that people are digging into his life.
That's it.
Otherwise, he's living life. He's
What do you
going to
mean,
work.
dude? He says if anyone wants to talk to me, they can reach out.
Uh-huh.
Motherfucker, they did. You lied. You placated. You played it down. You said the same thing. Clearly, you and Emmy had a powwow about this. Said we'll just blame it on law school. Like that's a lot going on, babe.
Yep.
I'm really stressed out. You're not the first fucking person to go to law school, guy. Like shut the I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. That's the meme of it's always two dumb bitches just telling each other, right? Exactly. Like that's what that was.
Like honestly, and he's like, it's two people we love and trust, and they didn't protect us. You didn't protect your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. They're not there to protect you in your relationship. That's your job to take care of each other. And you fucked that up and continue to fuck that up. To put it on your friends is so juvenile. You're going to law school to be this big grown up lawyer, and you still point fingers when you fuck things up, you dickhead. Grow up. Grow up or break up, but shut
Yeah,
up
it's tough to
more than
watch.
anything.
Yeah, it's actually it's just annoying to watch now. It
Yeah,
was
it's
tough to
so
watch when it's
irritating.
just Emmy by herself. It is very tough to watch
It's
because I feel
sad.
bad for her. And then when it's the two of them, it's really annoying to watch because
It's fucking brutal.
I think that Emmy is genuinely just like caught in this weird syndrome where she just doesn't know what to do and she's convinced that she's right, but you're not, and it's really sad. They just get really annoying. Like I don't want to watch these scenes where you guys are just rationalizing Will's shitty behavior
and blaming it on law
acting
school.
like you guys are right and blaming it on the other people for reaching out to try to help you. Like no,
You can literally see like he's completely isolated her from the group, like you were calling earlier, because she's like, I don't trust anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. It's like, fuck, he's got you right where he wants you then. And then he leads it up with, well, just don't engage with it. It's like, yeah, once again, you keep saying that because you're afraid she's going to keep digging and one day she's going to wake up. Don't worry. Instagram has shown us not 4 days ago, she's still under your trance, pal. So something's working, but we're not anybody watching this show is falling for this shit. So it's really fucking frustrating, but I'll tell you what's not. And I'll tell you what is
Maddi and Joe
is so nice that I texted Joey Bottles and said, you guys are so cute.
Oh yeah, it's so funny like watching like a terrible, terrible relationship. It's like I cannot wait until they break up. And then you see Maddi and Joe, and it's like if they ever broke up, I would consider doing terrible things. I
would be more upset than
Yeah.
Craig and Paige breaking up at this point.
Oh yeah.
Because we also saw that one coming, but they're just so genuine. And like I trust that Joey's gonna do the right thing. And then watching her cry because he got a concussion, he was fine. He's back at the house. He's good. And she's like, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have him. I just love him so much. And I'm like, oh, so now you're getting to the place that he's at, and you guys are gonna be in love, and it's all gonna work out. It's so nice.
So sweet.
Yeah, I texted him. I was like, you guys are so cute. And he said, go birds. more or less. So
Attaboy.
thanks, Joe. But TJ agrees to meet with Joe. And this is something that's going to happen for a long time. We do get to know more about their relationship, how it started. They were both newer in Charleston, or on the scene, and became really good friends really quickly. Joe recognizes TJ as his first real best friend from Charleston. So Joe was kind of lost by the whole thing. And this makes more sense as to the messages that came out. And, when Joe drunk texted TJ, like, you're a rat and all that other shit, it makes a little more sense at the visceral reaction when he's like, yeah, I love that he's just flat out saying it. He goes, I woke up with Luann. So I was like, all right.
Yeah,
You said last week you made out with her. Finally.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that as, I woke up after we banged. Boinked. Excuse me.
Boinked.
Yeah, boinked. We're gentlemen here. We're gentlemen. And you were the only person I told. I'm like, ooh, that's fucking snaky then. If he called you, you knew that this was, that was a weird move. But to TJ's credit, takes full accountability. Says it was a weak moment.
I appreciated that.
Right? I was like, all right, that's a way to move forward for sure. Takes full accountability. Says I had a weak moment. I wish he didn't bring it up one more time. It was like, I wanted to give you a chance to talk about it. I was like,
again, not a chance. Just not a chance.
You don't say that part. That's okay.
No. For what reason? Like, to what end?
I don't know. Well, I do know because TJ,
well,
he explains why, where this all comes from, because it has nothing to do with Luann. It has everything to do with Joe and TJ's relationship, which is still, we're not entirely sure the goings on of this evening. And, it's none of our fucking business. But TJ reiterates, I wanted you to feel like you had lost something. And he's like, well, I did, dude. I fucking felt it. And I'm like, Joe, he's not talking about your friendship right now.
Nope.
He's talking about more. And I know that you know that, and you're trying to avoid it. He goes, but it's all good. He's like, no, I want to finish this. I was like, yeah, let's just do this now.
He tried to end it and give him a hug.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sure did.
It's such a funny classic move. And it's like two friends arguing. You're like, all right,
it's all good.
I said everything that I needed to say. I feel okay. Do you want to hug it out? And then we're good, right?
Yeah,
right?
we're cool now, right?
Oh, you have more to say? Fuck. All right.
Shit.
God, this concussion is really kicking back in. Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm bleeding. I got to go. He goes, before he goes, we have a complex. That's what it was. We have a complex friendship. I'm glad we do. Come here. He's like, no, we're going to finish this. I'm like, yeah, just get it all out there now, guys. Just fucking figure this out now. Let's move on from it. And it goes back to the night 3 years ago. And Joe's like, look, I remember I was with my best friend. Starts it off with that. With my best friend. We slept in the same bed and I touched you. And then it led to rumors. Now, this painted the whole thing a little bit in a different light for me. Because last week, obviously, we're like, dude, that's kind of fucked up that he's calling this out on TV. Now, when TJ says, I still don't love that he did that last week. I'm not saying that's okay. But when he says, why am I not allowed to talk about my experience? I was like,
fair.
Okay. That's fair. Do I agree with what he did last week? I still don't. No. But yes, you're right, TJ. You are allowed to talk about your experiences, and clearly this left a lasting mark on you to where you felt something. And Joe goes, it was nothing, and TJ ends it with, it was something to me. So this is obviously a very nuanced situation. And I would imagine we're going to get some more out of it. Hopefully next week. I would like for them to, and not in a, let's just move on from this thing. I would like them to get to a genuine place where TJ feels seen and heard. Joe feels seen and heard. Nothing crazy gets thrown out there that's going to damage anybody or any relationships or anything like that. But they can come to some kind of place and be friends again. Because
I agree.
The tiffs everywhere. I like a good tiff. You can call me Tiffany.
Yeah, but this one got very real. Did you say you can call me Tiffany?
I was hoping you would catch it. Yeah, call me Tiffany because I love a good tiff. But yeah, I want there to be more friends in the group as well, though. I need some key moments. I need some fun. Emmy and Will. We know for a fact, just based on their current standing with a lot of people in the group, the Emmy and Will shit is going to drag on the entirety of the season.
And probably the reunion too.
Yeah, so to combat that, we're going to need some funny friendships along the way, and I need less contention amongst the rest of the group, so it's a united front against Will and Emmy.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions.
Let's get to some questions here. First one up from Destiny Mitchell. if Emmy wants a husband, there's a newly single lawyer in Charleston who's ready.
Hey, how about that? What would that relationship be like?
Well, no, now people are spreading rumors that Craig is dating Sutton. So that's
I
funny.
saw no, so they met up in LA when he was out there for something with the
Yeah.
fires. I saw that post on Sutton's page. That would, hey, talk about a power couple though. You know,
Hey, now.
hey now. Let's see from Melanie Lee J. Melanie Lee. I'm stuck on the wrong thing. Is this Emmy off her rocker? Her outsized reactions are too much. So, look, I agree. The reactions are a little wacky. I think that points further to the current place she's in mentally
Yeah.
and emotionally than
Yeah.
who she is actually. So
I
actually
don't think this is who she is, actually. I think that
No, me
she's
neither.
in a really bad spot that Will has put her in. And she
Yes.
feels like she's defending the relationship constantly, and that's got to be exhausting mentally and physically. And at the same time, it doesn't seem like Will's really defending the relationship. He's just defending himself. So that kind of puts it into perspective for you.
Yep, agreed. From Jess Brum, anyone wish Michols would have asked the group to chill out on Emmy since he had already spoken to her privately and clearly she wasn't going to receive the info? Well, no, because the whole group is involved because of her boyfriend. Okay, It is what it is. They were dragged into this bullshit.
And also, Michols did not get an actual answer from her.
Correct.
She just played it off. So this is a better setting. You know what? I went to you one-on-one. You basically called me dumb and just ignored me and just tried to run around. No, not going to do that. Let's bring it up in a group setting because now we can hold you accountable and you'll actually listen to us. Or you'll freak out and run away. One of the two.
Yep. Yeah, I'll end with that one. Oh, this is funny. From Julie Harp 73. Erica 2.0 mascara. Yeah, I clocked that as well. She didn't wear waterproof mascara either.
Nope.
Was it a move?
Yeah, somebody asked which waterproof mascara we'd recommend for Emmy. I don't know.
Shit. Yeah, not our department. No, I get Poppy's big into makeup now. I'll ask her.
There you go.
Sure, this is a good public service. We'll do two more. So this is a good PSA from Rockstar0521. Can you reiterate that if you smack your head into a pool, go to the hospital ASAP. Don't go to bed. Good concussion protocol there. If you feel like you're concussed, don't go to sleep. Go to the hospital. Thank you, Rockstar0521. And
everybody knows now.
The last one, Donia for president. What will it take for Emmy to leave Will? We don't know, but I wanted to end it with this. Also, hashtag Chiefs Kingdom. See y'all at the Super Bowl. You sure will.
Ew.
Because we're bringing the fucking thunder this time. And Patrick Mahomes, Kermit the fucking Frog, is going to leave crying. Travis Kelce's going to retire and move in with Taylor Swift in fucking wherever she lives. Goodbye, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Andy Reid.
We're there to kick teeth in all directions, right?
Yeah. Their teeth are going to be kicked all about the field.
Out, around.
Yeah. You're going to find teeth
you want.
from the Bayou to the fucking Superdome. Because fuck the Chiefs. Love you. We love you, Donia, for president. But we hate the Chiefs with a fiery passion. We've been waiting for this for 3 fucking years.
And everybody hates the Super Bowl, which makes it even funnier.
It's so good. You think that we care that you guys don't want to watch these two teams play? It makes it better. We love it. But yeah. Got anything else?
Nope.
No. Go Birds. That's our show. And the bros gotta go.
Bye.
Rob Bros are out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Here, wait, let's do the Home Chef ad real quick.
Yeah, I'll plug it in somewhere.
You can plug it in wherever.